Morning, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Love 500 and welcome back to day 4 on Project Roxanne. The weather has been really rubbish. We need to get this bumper painted and we need to get this bumper on. This is dragging on now. It should have been done a while ago. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get this bumper painted and get the front of this car done. Let's do it. Someone asked me recently whether you could fit a full-size wheel in the wheel well. The answer to that is no. Although, probably, if I put the seats forward, it probably would go in, and I will try that in a second. But when I had it up the other way, it got stuck on there, and I had to force it. But it did physically go in, but it was quite high. So obviously a space saver is thin. So it could fit in just, but it would be too high. So let me just put the seats forward a little bit and see if that makes any difference. Not really, no, it's not going to go. So no, the answer to that question is no, it doesn't. You might be able to get a 14-inch You might be able to get a full 14-inch wheel in, but that's a 15. You can't get that in. But if you've got a pop with pop wheels, which are only 14 inches rather than the 15, it might fit. In fact, it probably would fit, but 15-inch is an inch too big. So I did manage to get these out, and I've given them a good clean. They were a bit of a job to get out, actually. They're not held in by tabs or anything, but there's a lip under there, and they sort of go under the lip. And I gave them a good soaking in the sink, and they're nice and clean now. I'm just going to give that a wipe over in there, and the same in the back, and then put those back in. It actually smells quite nice in here, considering it must be the seat cleaning stuff. I've got no air freshener in there, but it smells quite nice. So no, we're not having a summer barbecue. It's not summer, it's February. As you know, I have been trying to get this bumper painted for a good couple of weeks now, after running out of paint. So what you've just seen is me putting up the Love 500 spray booth. This is my spray booth. This is a 2 metre by 2 metre gazebo, as you can see. And in here, we have... It's actually really quite warm in here, strangely. It's really weird. It's amazing how warm it is in here. So what we've done outside is we've keyed this back up with a 2000 grit, or 1500 grit, 2000 grit, and then a 3000 grit. So we keyed it up, we've remasked it, I have panel wiped it. There's still a few bits of panel wipe that where it's pooled a little bit, where it hasn't quite dried yet. As soon as that's dry, I've done it with a heat gun. I've warmed it up with a heat gun, which I'm going to do again, but I've also got a fan heater going here. It will be going in a minute. I'm going to get the paint, and I'm going to put the paint in a container of hot water to warm up. So I'm doing everything I can to get it warm enough to get this painted. And to be honest with you, when you step from outside inside, it actually feels quite warm in here. I was going to say maybe this radiates the heat a little bit, this silver. It was only cheap, this. It was only 56 quid or something like that. So it was only cheap. And it's just wide enough. It's just wide enough to get a bumper in here diagonally. So I can do doors in it, I can do wings in here, all sorts of things. So if it's in the summer, I can just do it outside. As you can see, it's quite windy out there. It's not windy in here. I just need to move it over slightly, because when the wind blows a little bit, I might actually weight it down on the outside. It does come in and almost touch the side. It doesn't this side, so I can move it over slightly, but I'll weight it down so it can't do that. Yeah, this is it. So I'm going to get the heater going. I'm not going to be able to film. I'm not going to chance filming you here in real time because we are enclosed here, and there is obviously going to be spray around. So I am going to put my camera outside, my phone outside on time lapse, and just poke it through the hole and hope that it gets it. So we'll get the first, well, say the first coat. As you know, we've had two. We've had a mist coat, we've had a relatively heavy coat, and we've now got a complete new can to do one more heavy coat, including underneath, but we'll concentrate on the top first. Once we've done that, again, we'll dry it off with a heat gun, and then we'll hit it with probably 3 coats of clear coat, and hope it's going to look the business. So I'm just going to dry it off with a heat gun now, and then I'll get the heater going, and then we'll do it. Wish me luck. Got the mask on still. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way that's gone on. It's actually really quite toasty in here. Oh, I know what I didn't do. Didn't do a thick coat on that. Quickly do. I don't want to use all my paint up. That's it. Because I've got, excuse me, Darth Vader voice. Got the mask over me gob still. Yeah, I'm pleased with the way it's gone on. I had enough. So yeah, 2 cans would have been ideal to start with. I could have used it all, but I've left a little bit because I've got scratches to sort out. I'm tempted to even buy another can as well. But yeah, good coverage. So I'm just waiting for it to dry. I will speed it up with the heat gun. I'll put that on the low heat. It is really quite toasty in here. I'm really surprised. This was a good purchase. I'm only going to use, I've got the clear coat at the moment is warming up in some hot water, but I think I've decided to use a 1k clear coat rather than a 2k, just because I'm in here, and obviously 2k is a bit on the dangerous side, which is fine doing it outside with a mask on, but as there's fumes flying around in here, I won't. So yeah, it's looking good. Obviously, it looks a bit patchy there, is because it's still wet as it's drying off. But yeah, it's gone on nice and smooth. There's no dirt in it. That comes with scrupulously cleaning it, I guess. No dirt, no runs. Yeah, it looks nice. It does look nice. Right, I'm going to go outside, let it carry on warming up here. As I say, I'll dry it off with that for a few minutes, give it 5 minutes, and then I'll get the clear coat on. Whew. Be so glad to get this done. It is quite nerve-wracking because I've never done a bumper, not an entire bumper before, so I'm just hoping it's going to turn out well. I think it will. You never can tell, can you? Looks good though. Oh, that's why everything's dark. I forgot I had my dark glasses on. I need to get the other ones. It was all a bit dark in there. I don't really like that. There was a different one that they sent me from Paints for You, which they said that one of their people prefers on dark colours, and they gave it to me for free. It spat a little bit on a couple of little pieces, and it's not as glossy. I've only given it 1 coat. I've given up trying to do it on time lapse because it's just all over the place. With the wind, the camera's just moving everywhere, so I don't know what the time lapse is going to look like. But yeah, it's just not. It's not gone on as well as that other stuff does. So I've got 3/4 of a can of the other stuff. So I'm going to do a 2nd coat in that. I know that gives a good, nice glossy finish, and I'm not happy with that. It's glossy in places. Maybe it's because I've done it thicker in places, but I'm just don't know. I would have liked to say to use the 2K, but I'm not going to use 2K in there in the summer when it's warm out here and I can do it outside and I wear a mask. Then yeah, that's fine. But yeah, that's where we are. So I still thought I can't speak. I think the fumes have gone to my head. I still think that I'm going to get a good finish out of it. If those little spits still show, then I'm sure we can get rid of those with polishing. We're going to polish it anyway to make it, give it a proper nice finish. Even though you do tend to get a good finish with that Pro XL anyway, it's still going to get a polish before we put all the trim on it. I'm going to go and change my glasses. I've got the Pro XL warming up in the pot of hot water, so then we'll get on. I've done it. I've given it 10 minutes, and I've also gone over it with a heat gun again as well. So yeah, let's hopefully. I'll probably give it 3 coats. Give it a final last thick coat. I'll see how the second coat goes on. But yeah, let's. It goes on really. You get quite a nice fan, and it's not much different to what I see on YouTube videos coming out of a gun. That's my next purchase. I think I'm going to invest in a gun, and possibly I think my compressor from Lidl's probably hasn't got enough oomph to run a gun, so I'll get a middle of the road one and another compressor and see if we can get a better job out of it. But yeah, that's where we are. We'll be back once we've got the final coat, clear coat on, and we'll have a look at it, see what you think. See you in a minute. So it's a really nice thick coat gone on. I think that's probably going to be enough, to be honest with you. It's much better finish on this, as far as I can tell. Much better coverage, much glossier than that other stuff. On a previous video, it was on the one Amy's car, the Project Christian 2, wasn't it? The sequel, which was the one that was rolled, and I did all that painting on it. And I used this, and someone said, "Did you use 2K on the back?" By the petrol, on the back quarter, because 1K will get destroyed by petrol. Where does it say? It says on here somewhere. Here we go. This is 1K. Excellent gloss retention, superior build, UV and petrol resistant. So this stuff, it's not normal 1K. This is Pro XL. It's great stuff. But yeah, no, this is safe with petrol. So. I was going to say they were berating me. They weren't berating me. They were forewarning me, I suppose you could say. But yeah, it's just reminded me when I'd seen this. Good stuff. Right, that's it. Done. The car is absolutely filthy. Let's hope it matches, eh? I'm sure it will. Just taking the gazebo down, but I thought I'd show you this. There's a few little spits. You can see them there. A few little spits there, but generally it's pretty glossy, and of course once it's polished up it'll be even better. But it's come out alright, I think. Pleased with it. I am pleased with it. Yeah, it looks alright. Yeah. It's not perfect, but it's rattle canned in a gazebo in February. So once it's polished, it'll be a lot better. I'll get the old G360 and my new polishing machine that I've bought, which I will do a little review on probably tomorrow. Obviously, we'll polish it up before we put all the bits on. I've got the old that bit that's nice and soft, nice and shiny and smooth. That'll be popped back in. I won't do that until tomorrow. There's a couple of bits. I don't know if I went over it quite a lot. There's a bit there. There's a couple of little bits where maybe it could have done with a little bit more, possibly. But I haven't got any more, and I think it will shine up all right. Once I get the old polish on it, it'll be all right. I'm not gonna wet sand it or anything like that. Although I might wet sand the little. Well, yeah, I will do. I'll try it with polish first, actually, with those. And see if they polish out. If not, then I'll try the old wet sanding. See if I can get them out. But yeah, I'm generally pleased with it. It was a bit difficult to see. It didn't help that I had my glasses to go dark in the sun on to start with. Either that didn't help. Once I put my other ones on, it was alright. I could see what I was doing. But it'd be better doing things like wings in here, because you've got more room to move around. I did wonder whether 2 metres would be enough, and it was enough. You know, I was able to get to the sides okay by having the ladder almost in the middle of the gazebo. But yeah, no, it worked well. I'm pleased with it. Anyway, we'll come back tomorrow when we were... What on earth was that noise? An animal, or was it me? I don't know. Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow when we polish it up and see how it looks when it's polished. And I might even offer it up to the car just to see what it looks like. I'm going to cut it down in a minute because obviously it's causing a bit of strain on there, and I don't want to strain it any more than need be. So I'll leave it another 10 minutes or so. It is dry now. Once I've finished taking the gazebo down, or the sides of the gazebo down, I'll take it off just to put it somewhere soft and somewhere safe. I'll put it in the garage on an old duvet cover or something just to keep it so it doesn't get scratched. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll get it polished up. Okay, welcome back. It's, as you saw, I painted that bumper at the weekend on Sunday, I think it was, and I thought I'd put it on the car just to get it out of the way of the garage, really. And it looks alright. It's wet at the moment because it was raining last night, but colour-wise, it seems to be okay, I think. Bearing in mind that's nice, fresh, new, not really shiny paint, but nice, fresh, new paint. Whereas the bonnet, the rest of the car is filthy, dirty, old paint. So hopefully it's going to match all right. It's obviously going to be slight difference because even if it's a good match, it's still going to be slight difference because it's fresh, new paint. I don't intend to be doing any blending or anything like that. Hopefully it'll be okay. This morning, what we're going to do, or within the next 10-15 minutes, I've got a subscriber coming down. I'm not sure whether it's a Fiat 500 or an R-Bath, not sure which, but he's bringing down, he lives in Catford, and he's coming up to see me for me to run diagnostics on his car. He's got a problem with hill hold assist, that type of thing. Lots of things have been changed. He's at a bit of a loss as to what's causing it, so he's asked me if I can run it through for him, so he'll be down very shortly. And while we're waiting for him, and then when he's gone, I'm going to be getting on, and I've got to dry that bumper off, and then I'm going to get my new polisher out, and yeah, give it a good. Not when I say cut and polish, I'm not going to be doing any wet sanding. I'm just going to be polishing. Those little spits, I don't know whether they're still visible or not. Once I've got through it, and I'll see whether they're still there. If they need a little bit of rubbing down, then that's what I'll do. Once we've done that, and hopefully it'll be satisfactory, I can then start putting everything on the bumper. I'm really looking forward to doing that. Really looking forward to getting everything on. Hopefully that broken bit down there, whichever side it was, I can't remember which side's which now, that I've then bought the other bit with the broken tabs is going to fit in okay, and it's not going to be a problem. I don't know whether they go in from that way or that way. I've got no idea. We'll soon figure that one out, of course. I think they're going from the other side. If I have to do any bonding, then I'll do some bonding on one side. One of them's okay. The other one was, two pieces. One bit's broken and so is the other bit, but not broken. It's just tabs that are broken. So hopefully that'll be okay. That doesn't seem to fit in there very well. It seems to just fall out. So I might have to have a look at that. What else? We've got everything, haven't we? We've got absolutely everything that we need to do it. So hopefully by lunchtime, long before lunchtime, that will be complete. And then what we're going to do is move on and do the bits of paint. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll do this bit as well. I'm not sure if there's a tiny little bit of pulling out needs to be done there. There is a little bit of a dent. I'm hoping I don't have to do any filling. If I can get away without doing any filling, I'd rather not, but if I have to, that's what we'll do, and we'll obviously get that. It is cold today. I'm wearing my hat. It is cold, but we did that bumper. I know I did it in the gazebo, but we did it successfully. I warm the panel up. It's only a little bit if it needs painting, but I want to get that finished today as well. Very little paint left, but I've got enough to do what I need to do. And then we'll go around the car and see if there's any other bits. And then I think after that, apart from doing the brakes, I think that's it. Once we've just touched up a few bits and pieces, I think doing the brakes is the last thing, I think. I think everything else is done. Needs to finished cleaning it inside. I've done a lot of it. I've just got to go over the plastics. Oh, gear knob. I'll show you the gear knob. Actually, let's show you the gear knob now. So the gear knob, the reason the USB leads in here, I thought I'd try and see if it had Apple CarPlay, and it doesn't, unfortunately. But that's why. So that is someone obviously with a ring on, and it's just damaged that. It's a bit loose, it's all damaged there. So what I did is I bought one on AliExpress. Can't remember how much it was now, but it was about 12 quid, something like that. I have bought them before, not on AliExpress, I bought it on eBay. And the actual plastic bit didn't fit. The hole was the wrong size, so I just changed the silver bit. So I thought to myself, if that's what I have to do on this one, I can do that. So we'll try that, and we'll do that live so you can see what I'm doing. The other thing is, some sort of good news, is the fellow I bought stuff from before, he has got a set of seats out of a facelift Sport like this, but it's the cream stroke white trim along with door cards. He's got them on eBay at the moment for 225 quid. I sent him a text and said how much you take cash out of eBay, and he said you can have them for 180. So I'm hoping that this evening I'm going to go over to him in South London and pick them up. That's what I'm hoping. And I spoke to my sister-in-law, I sent her a picture of the seats and said, how do you feel about the white ones? She said, will it go? And I said, well, yeah, they come in red, they come in blue, and they come in white. It will go. We got the door cards as well. I can then sell the 2 door cards. I will sell separate. I will sell this seat separate. And then that, I will have a go at repairing. How that will come up, I don't know. I am getting the back seats as well, but I probably won't bother changing the back seats because there's nothing wrong with them. There's no point taking them out unless they're in better condition than this. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So hopefully, if I can pick those seats up tonight, tomorrow morning, I can get them in. And then we'll do the brakes, I suppose, because that's the only thing left to do. So that'd be really good to get that done. Anyway, that's where we are. That's what we're going to do. Let's get this bumper dried off and get on with it and get it polished. Right, that is the first heavy cut done with a red pad, and I'm well impressed with that. It's really easy to use. It's not really noisy like the other one. It's easily adjustable speed wise. I've put a bigger pad on it actually because I didn't have a red pad, a decent red pad. I'm not sure whether that's the same thing. That's quite, I'll have to look to see what that actually is. I'm not quite sure. It's much, although you can push it in, it's almost like memory foam. It's a lot harder than that red pad, so I didn't want to use it, especially on this, just in case it was too coarse. I'm not quite sure what that's for, so I'll have to look into that and see what it's for, but it's come up really nice. There's a couple of little bits on it, and I'm going to take the bumper, well, the bumper's got to come off anyway to fit all the bits on, but just to do these a bit better. I have done them, and round here as well. I have done them, but it'd be easier to do them when it's off the car. But it looks really nice, considering this was painted in a gazebo with spray cans in February. I am so pleased with it, so pleased with it. It's, I mean, it's still got to have a polish yet. It's only had the, you know, the initial heavy cut. I haven't actually polished it yet, but it looks really nice, really nice. The only bit I'm not happy with is this bit here. It doesn't sit, I don't think there's enough lacquer on that bit. I actually ran out of the Pro XL and I had to use the other one that they sent me for free, and I don't like that. It doesn't seem to polish up well either. So I maybe didn't put enough on there. So what I'm going to do, I can do that afterwards, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more Pro XL, and I'm just going to put some more on that afterwards. and then repolish it. But apart from that, that's the only bit really. Those spits have all disappeared. Can't see any of them, I don't think. Can't even remember where they were now, but I certainly can't see any. Really pleased with it. It looks really nice. I am so pleased. You know, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's a showroom finish, but it ain't bad. It really ain't bad, and it is far better than my painting that I did on that grey car recently. Far better. I mean, it was done in the warmish in that gazebo, which helps. Anyway, I am going to carry on. I'm going to take the bumper off, and I'm going to just do those bits, and then I'm going to put it down on the ground somewhere and start putting all the bits on. And then we have to change that bottom leg still, if you remember. That bottom leg needs to come off before we put the bumper back on. So we'll do that as well. I'd forgotten about that earlier when I mentioned what we were doing today. That hopefully won't take long. We'll jack it up, take that off, put it on, do up the front bar. And the only other thing before we put the bumper on and leave it on to do is I've got to polish certainly that headlight up, because that's got scratches on, so I'm going to have to try and get those scratches out. So obviously, as the bumper's going to be off, it's much easier to do that. There's less to have to mask off, and see if we can get... I don't suppose we're going to get all the scratches out, but it will get most of them out. Yeah, well pleased. Well pleased. I'm so pleased I did this at the weekend, because it was really dragging on with the horrible weather, not being able to do it. But yeah, well pleased. Anyway, let's get on. Enough of my waffling. I know I got berated by a couple of you for waffling on the last video, or one of the last videos. Yeah, let's do it. I've got this out here because I was just polishing those bits out there. So while it's here, I'm going to give it the polish as well. I just wanted to compare. You can see where it's bent. I'm just going to grab the new one out the boot, or one of the two new ones, because I bought two by mistake. Well, not by mistake, but got a bit trigger happy with the buy now button. So here is the new one. Here is the old one. And as you can see, that one has got a big kink just there. So that, I suppose these are crash cans, aren't they? So it helps to fold it up. And as you can look at the angle of the dangle, you can see that that one has been pushed right round. I've already cleaned that one up, it was filthy. So let's get it on. Trouble there. Having never done a facelift sport before, I could not for the life of me figure out how these vents go on. So you probably saw me struggling, and then you probably saw the back of my head doing this one. I figured it out. So So it's basically held on by 4 screws. That is broken there, so I can't hold that one on, but that's fine, it doesn't matter. So there are tabs, surprise, surprise, it's a Fiat, and you sort of bang it into those tabs, screw it there, and there if it wasn't broken. Now the other one I think is possibly broken. Well, not possibly broken, it is. I've glued it back together. I don't know if these bits are missing or not. I'm hoping they are not missing. And we can do it. So, as you know, I managed to get on eBay this bit for 20 quid. Because I had this bit, which is broken, and I've glued it back together and hot stapled it. And it's still sort of broken, but I'm going to see how it goes in. But you do have to get this bit in first. Now there are some of the tabs on this are broken, but again, I don't think it really matters. I should be able to do it. And we've got these tabs on here, which are a little bit bent, some of them, which holds it on, and then it screws on as it did on the other one. So I think there must be something missing here, or is it on this? No, because it's supposed to. If it screws on that side like the other one has, then there should be a thing on it. But it doesn't look like anything's broken off here. That's strange. Interesting. But we've got 2 screws here, where it screws in. We got one. Where does that go? Yeah, we haven't got the screw. We haven't got the screw things on this, and I don't think they are anywhere. I will have a look just in case they're on there. Ah, that might be them there actually. So that's why you don't throw anything away. That might be them there. Because I think that piece, the big piece over there, is I think this piece. So I could probably hot staple those back into position. And I mean, I knew this was broken, but I'm trying to save money by reusing it. It's only at the back of the bumper, it doesn't matter, does it? He wanted 40 something quid just for this bit. And I've got it. So I'm going to give it a go, see if I can fix it. Oh, I see, that goes on. Oh, I got you. So no, that goes on there, but that's got nothing to screw to. On that one, it did. That's weird. So yeah, I just need to try and screw those bits on. If I stick those bits on, hot staple them on if I can. If not, it'll have to just be held in by the tabs. But we'll see. But that bit has to go on first. That's what I was trying to work out, so we'll get that bit on. I'm not going to bother filming it. I'm actually going to go and have some lunch in a minute, but I just want to try and get this bit done first, and then we'll come out. And I think I managed to hot staple the spotlight. I'm not sure whether you saw me do that or not. I don't think you did, because the surround was broken, and I had a box load here, but they're all pre-facelifts and other sides, so they're different. But yeah, I managed the bit I had, which was still on the old bumper. I managed to glue and hot staple on, so that's as solid as a rock. And then what else have we got left to do? I've got one. The reason I haven't put the other DRL in is because it needs a polish. It's a bit scratched, so I thought I'd give that a polish and try and get rid of those scratches before I put it in. And then, assuming I can do this properly, the bumper's done. Wonderful. And then we can I think we can actually get it on, can't we? Is there any reason we can't? Don't think so. Woohoo, how exciting. Right, I managed to get everything on. I've polished the headlight, although that one I think needs a little bit more. And I also polished the DRL, which I've forgotten which one it is now. But yeah, most of the scratches have come out. There's a little bit of haziness, as I didn't notice it until I put the light on. Actually, this was on the other one as well, and I didn't do that one. But it's made me paintwork that I polished up this morning a bit dusty, but everything's on. It just needs another good clean up. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. I've got greasy fingerprints all over it as well now, which don't help. But all the lights are working. Managed to sort out that that thing. I've glued it in one side. I can't even remember which side it is now. It's that side, isn't it? Yeah, I managed to glue it in, and the tabs that were there were enough to hold the grill. So you do actually put the grill in first, and then you put the other bit, the backing bit, over the grill. I should have shown you actually. I think I did some of it on time lapse, but you couldn't really see from that. But yeah, it was taking a long time and trying to figure it out. But yeah, I figured out in the end that from the other side, you put the grill on first, not from this side, which was my initial mistake. So you do it from the other side, push that into place and it clicks in on some tabs. I did have tabs missing. And then the other bit pushes over it, which was very challenging because tabs were broken, the actual thing itself was broken. I could have done with a new one really, but couldn't get one for that side. They just weren't available. I probably could have got one from Fiat for God knows how much. But yeah, it was okay. Plastic, not plastic wheel, sorry, hot stapling it and then gluing it in a little bit more did the trick, and it was fine. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to button up the bumper now. I don't think there's any reason not to. Okay, looking at it. It's looking mighty fine, don't you think? Mighty fine. I've got to, I've just given it a bit of a snow foam, and I just got to dry it off with a drying towel. But it's looking great. It's looking really, really good. The reason I've cleaned it, I think I mentioned it earlier, is because I want to attack these bits of paint, the scratches and what have you. None of them are polishable out. I don't think there's an awful lot of protection on this. I am going to polish up. I'm going to try my new polisher and do a demo video. I'm going to do half the bonnet with it and see how it comes up. Yeah, I am really pleased with it. But as it's drying, you can see there's just not the bumper. The bumper's lovely, but just generally not much of a shine to it. So I think it needs a bit of paint correction, i.e. polishing. So I'm going to polish the entire car, and then I'm going to wax. Well, yeah, I'm going to put some finishing wax on it, and then I am going to put a built amber crystalline protection over it, or I might use the Auto Glim Polar, whatever it's called. You might use that because I haven't used that yet. That was given to me by Sean, and I haven't used it yet because I had the built amber. So I will use that. So as I said before, thanks Sean. We'll give it a blast, see what it's like. I'm not even quite sure how you use it, but I will have a look on the tin. Got to tidy up the wheels where they need it, but we are getting there. We are really getting there now at long last. So tomorrow, I'm going to pick the seats up tonight. So tomorrow morning, first thing, I'll be out here changing the seats with the ones, exactly the same seats, but it's white instead of blue, which is good because it's out of a 2016 Sport, and they look exactly the same. I've seen them. Well, I haven't seen them. I've seen the pictures. Yeah, I'm going to pick those up this evening. So they'll go in tomorrow morning, and then we'll do a bit more on the paint because that's obviously a paint, leave it to dry, sand, paint, leave it to dry, paint. Until you hopefully can't see the scratches anymore. And then after that, or whilst we're doing that, we'll get the brakes done as well. And apart from an oil change and cleaning up the hard surfaces, which I may do today, and doing the gear knob, which I may do today, everything else is done. Right. Okay. So this is the first one. I'm going to rub it down a little bit first, I think, because it's a bit rough around the edges. So I'm going to wet sand it first, just to flatten it out a little bit. Right. So it was quite coarse. So I actually had to knock it back with I used a 320 and then I used 2000 just to flatten it. So I'll warm the paint up as it's a cold day again, and then all this area around here, which is all gone matte, when it's polished, that will go, we hope, will go back to how it should be. Right, here's the paint. So this is going to be a gradual process. Build it up, bit by bit. You've seen me do this before. Gradual process. We need to basically fill the hole with paint, and then when it's dry, we sand it, or just fill it again. And then just keep doing it over and over until such time as it disappears. We did it on, can't remember which car it was now. No, forgotten which car it was. Can't remember what colour it was either, actually. Is it a red one? No, I don't know. It wasn't a black one, because I've only had one black one before. And that was the Bath ages ago. Right, I mean, that looks horrible at the moment, doesn't it? But once that's gone off and we rub it down, more paint, rub it down and so on, we keep going. And then hopefully, eventually, it'll be alright. It's quite a nasty scratch, this. So, same process. Just fill the scratch with the paint. We'll probably, may actually probably come back to this tomorrow. So this is quite deep, but this one's not gone down quite so far. Wouldn't polish out, it's gone down through the paint. So it's not going to polish. If any of them don't work, then it'll be a case of rubbing down, filling and priming, but I don't think it's going to be needed on any of them. Possibly the one on the back quarter needed. You're all going to need more than one coat. While we're doing this, we'll go around the car as well and touch any little bits in that need doing. That bit actually will probably polish out, so I'm not going to put paint in that. Well, this is probably a branch of a tree or bush or something. And as it gets to the end of it, I think it's just in the clear, so that part of it will probably polish out. So we'll just dab it in there. It's almost disappearing just with that one go. As I say, once it's rubbed down and you get it to the same level as the rest of the paint, it should be okay. But it's bound to need more than one go. But it's quite surprising, when I did this one, whichever one it was I did before, I wish I could remember which one it was, it was a matter, it looked a bit rough, and then you go over it with a cutting compound, and all of a sudden it sort of vanishes. It's quite amazing, really. That's it. That's that for the time being. So we'll come back over and over, and we'll do that over and over again until it's gone. When you stand back here, you can't see it. Okay, right, while we are doing that, waiting that paint to dry before we give it another coat, which I've given it 2 coats now, and we'll leave it till tomorrow, I thought I'd have a go at this. So we need to get off, so what we've got here is the AliExpress version of this. So we need to get the black bit off the top. We've got a replacement black bit, which looks pretty much the same. I'm sure it's not, but here's the silver bit, which is the bit on here that's damaged. As I said to you before, when I did this before, the hole was different size, didn't fit. And I took a gamble on this one, thinking, well, it might fit. If it don't, you can take off that silver bit. Somehow, I can't remember how now. I think you have to, yeah, it just quite easily comes off. So you can take that piece off, and then I can just replace that bit. But I've got to get that off first, which unfortunately is not in itself easy, because you have to damage. There's no other way of getting it out. There you go. Because it's stuck on. There's not really any other way of doing it. You've got to get something underneath it to get to that bolt. So hopefully, see, I've slightly mullered that, but only a little bit, just on the edge. I could even put that one back and it wouldn't even notice, but I won't. I'll keep it. It's always handy to keep as a spare. La, 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 la. Oh. Right, 10 mil? Yes. I wasn't very tight. So if you've got a knob that twiddles from side to side on your Fiat 500, this is why, because that bolt is not done up very tight. So that's the only way you can tighten it up, is to get, especially with it seems to be more prevalent on the snooker stroke pool ball. And again, you have to take that whole black piece off. Now, if I look at that, let's have a look. Difficult to tell. Looks about the same. Soon find out. So it's got a little ridge. No, same thing again. Doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. Why do they never fit? Strange, isn't it? It is for a Fiat 500, and I've done this on a. I think I've done it on a. No, yeah, I've done it on a pre-facelift. So it's not the facelift is different. It just don't fit. That's stupid. So what I'm going to do is take the silver bit off, which comes off quite easy. Put this back on. Put the new silver bit off of this one, if I can get it off. That's not anything to do with it, is it? Or is it? No, it wasn't going that far, was it? So we don't need that bit, we could just put this bit on. Which goes that way. Like that. And put the bolt back in. And then we'll put the new sticky bit, black bit on. Well, on the old one. So it freshens it up, even though you're not changing it. You know, if I'd wanted to spend, I dread to think how much these are, if you get a genuine one. But that is a top tip. If you buy them from AliExpress, they don't fit. But you can do what I'm doing and just use the damaged bits. And then we got, what have we done with the black bit? So we'll take the glue off in a second and just pop that on the top. So we'll take that off. And we'll try and get it on straight, because that will be annoying. There you go. There you go, like new. Well, it is new. There you go. Nice. I think that'll do you for this video. Put me out straight. Oh, blimey, nearly knocked myself out then. Yeah, that's it for this video. What do you reckon? What do you think? I'm well pleased with it, really pleased. Could have been better, as always. Can always be better, can't it? But for an amateur job in February, in a gazebo, when it was about 5 degrees outside, if that, probably less than that, with spray cans, it's not bad, I don't think. So yeah, one more video to go and then this will be finished. So as always, if you are not a subscriber, please hit the button, subscribe to the channel, give us a thumbs up. Most importantly, a thumbs up. Thumbs ups are really, really important for it to get the videos to get out to other people. So please give us a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. Until the next one and the last one in this series, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.